I'm going to keep taking you down the rabbit hole to make your spidey senses tingle. And where I'm going to focus on this map is I went through and I showed you the one of Denver of 1889 and Colorado Springs of 1889 and this one of August 1900. And so this is where I'm going to focus on is the hanging tree. And we're going to go down to where the hanging tree was. So this is Union Avenue, and the hanging tree was about right here. Now the gold dust is supposedly where the hanging tree was at. That's where it was located. And so I'm going to take and show you the hanging tree, and then I'm going to show you the impossible construction that they did. So if you take this map back out from 8, let's take out the calculator just so everyone can really understand. Where is it at? Calculator. So basically Pueblo got the railroad in 1872. And this map of 1900. 28 years. So 30 years basically to build this entire city. And so we'll go down and we'll get to the hanging tree, and I'm going to show you the craziness of this whole thing. So Union Street. So if you come into my Google Drives and you go into the United States, that's what you guys will have access to. You go down to Colorado and you go into Pueblo, Colorado, and you can go to the cottonwood tree. Let's see. Down on Union Street, and this will give you all the pictures. I'm going to use the ones I have on my computer to a little bit easier, but this will give you all the pictures of the cottonwood tree that I have. Okay, so let's get started with this. So pictures of the cottonwood tree, and these are the earliest ones that I can find, and I've gone back and I've looked at the buildings and what they had built, and then the next picture and so forth, and see the progression of construction. So the thing with this tree is was not cut down until 1883, so this is a huge marker in time. So this will give us an idea of what actually before 1883 looked like. Alright, so here's the same spot in time that you can see the change in all the buildings, how telephone lines have came in. And this is in 1880 on this picture is what they're saying, because the tree was cut down in 1883. So we have another 3 years before it's cut down. Okay, so it's the same spot, and you can see that telephone pole lines have started to come in. And on this one is a later picture of this one because this branch is no longer there. And you can see it's missing right there, and you can see this church. Now I have one of the earlier pictures if you go look, and one of the things you can do is you can do a reverse Google search, so that way you don't have to worry about getting, if you're worried about viruses. But that's one way to look at all of this, and then you can start to see this crazy build. And what I want to show you guys is to actually give you an idea that they went from this in 1883 to this is Union Street in 1897, and that tree was cut down somewhere right around here. So let's do the math on that. Okay, so the tree was cut down in 1883, and this is a picture of Union Street. When was this? 1897. 14 years. 14 years to go from this. And so when I tell you guys I found the matrix, you have to see it for what it really is. That's only 14 years from the tree being cut down. So this is a picture of 1880, and you could see that long branch is still hanging down. So this must have been around 1883 is when they were cutting this tree down, because I see a ladder there, but This thing was 29 feet in circumference and 88 feet tall. So imagine taking that down by hand tools. And you go from that, from this basically, because here's the same picture, and here's one of the horse-drawn trolleys that they had in 1880, and then they went to the electric one. And then in some of these pictures you could see where they added more telephone pole lines. Let's see here. So you went from that to this within 14 years. And I seriously don't know how nobody else has ever put this together, because there's no way you could build this many brick buildings, lay out all this city, and remind you, let's take a look at Pueblo, Colorado, where this was at. That was down here on Union Street. Right here is where the tree was cut down, and you had a view basically from this point looking down Union Street. So let's take a look at the view you had. And remind you, I want you guys to notice, like, this is Union Street. Right here is where the tree was cut down. They have a marker of it. The gold dust is where it's supposed to be at. And so let's look at this. In 14 years, you went from building wood buildings, tore them down, and then built massive brick buildings. And this is just one small part of Pueblo, Colorado. Like I said, when you understand the matrix and you can see through the lies, we had a great reset. And I'm telling you, there's no way they could have built these buildings as fast, this quick. Within 14 years, you go from that to this. So that's the matrix, and I'll keep making videos on this to show you guys the craziness of this. But I'll have any suggestions or comments, please. I'm at this point, I'm just here to share the information. This is just for other people to look up and see for themselves, to be a part of the Great Awakening, because I believe that this is what's going to be a part of it, with a lot of other things. So if you like it, share it with people so they can see it. And definitely I know that there's going to be a lot of criticism on this, but I'm telling you, 14 years to go from a one-horse town tree to this. Electric trolleys, 35 miles worth. I mean, largest smelting plant east of the Mississippi. They had our largest steel mill east of the Mississippi, 5 smelting plants, all put in by 1900.